Hey guys, welcome or welcome back to Budget with a July Dreamer. My name is Miranda, and in today's video I want to talk about a topic that is on everybody's minds, and it's one of those things where we can only prepare for. This isn't much that we ourselves as individuals can do but can prepare for, and this is talking about the upcoming recession. We keep hearing from economists that a recession is going to be upon us in the next months, years, whatever, but that is definitely going to happen. And I thought in today's video I share with you how I am going to be preparing for this recession. I'm not saying that what I'm going to do is going to be recession proof, but there are just a couple of things that I am going to be doing, I am already doing, to make sure that when the worst does happen, that I am at least protected or shielded or protect my assets in one way or another. So I do have my notepad here where I have written down a couple of ways that I'm thinking of planning and preparing for this recession. The first one that I have written down here is buying things in bulk and, batch cooking as well. So one of the things that I do in my everyday life is I always buy in bulk. This is something that I learned from my mother. So things like tomatoes, pasta, rice, and what have you, I always buy in bulk. So whenever it comes to my food shop, you will notice that my food shop is actually quite low. You will see that I spend a lot of money like on takeaways and what have you, but when I am being good and I'm not spending money on takeaways, my food budget is less than £100. So this is because I always buy in bulk. I always make sure that I'm stocked up on the essentials, the non-perishables I'm stocked up on, and the only things that I buy on a weekly basis is things like fruits, tomatoes, cucumbers, and stuff like that. That is what I try and buy every single week. But otherwise, all non-perishables I buy in bulk. So I try to do my big bulk buy-in every quarter. But obviously right now, when I see prices are low and it's things that I actually need, I will buy. But if it's things that I know I'm just buying in bulk for the sake of it and I won't even use it, I don't buy. And every quarter, I actually clear out my cupboards, check what is still in date, what is due to expire, so I can use that up before it expires, and all of that jazz. So that's what I am going to be doing, continue to be doing, and I am doing. Another thing which I do every Sunday is I batch cook. I love meal prep. Sometimes I don't do it the way other people do it, but I just love meal prepping. I'm able to batch cook a lot of my favorite meals and freeze them, and especially because I travel a lot, when I come back I can just defrost one of the packets and that will be my meal for the day. Or I would just prepare the meals and put them in my fridge, and that's what I'll have for the week, or whatever. But I always batch cook as well. So that is what the first thing that I'm going to be doing in two parts. First, I'm going to buy the non-perishables in bulk. Then I'm also going to batch cook so that I can make sure I'm not spending money that I don't need to spend to buy things that I already have in my house. This is also another tip that I want to share, is that before you go do your food shop, always have a meal plan in your head for the week. I know this is not always easy for a lot of people. For me, I meal plan for the week, but I try and do, for example, I'll meal prep Monday lunch because I rarely have time to cook my lunch. Monday lunch, I would do Tuesday dinner, Wednesday dinner, Thursday lunch, and then Friday it's free flow. The other times it's that I have not meal prep for, I would just cook on the day. I mean, sometimes I don't feel like cooking. I feel like having cereal or having ice cream, and I do exactly that. But I always at least have more than between 5 to 6 meals prepped ready for the week, and then I do that all over again over the weekend. And if I know that I'm going to be traveling in like the next coming weekend, then I'm gonna make sure that I batch cook for 2 weeks, however long I'll be gone for. That is what I like to do. So that is tip that I practice. The second way I'm preparing for a recession is I have canceled all of my not so useful subscriptions. First of all, I want to say Disney Plus, Netflix, Spotify, Now TV. Actually, remove Now TV. All of these ones I'm not canceling. Disney Plus I pay annually, so I'm already stocked up on that. Not stocked up, but I already paid for that, and I already have a sinking fund in play where I am actually putting money for next year as well in advance for when I have to do my annual renewal. And then for Netflix, my entire family uses Netflix. I use it every single day, so it's something that I enjoy in my relaxation time, so I'm not canceling that. What else do I have? Now TV, however, I'm going to cancel, because Now TV, I only used it because that's where they had The Mummy, the 3 movies that I love them, and I always have them as background music when I'm background noise when I'm working from home. But that one does not serve me anymore. I found other places where I could watch my favorite movies, so I got rid of that, and I still have access to it until middle of June, so that's fine. But I've gotten rid of that. And then I went also on my business side, on my small business there. I've got a lot of subscriptions, and I sat down, I'm like, what does my business actually need? Because I pay for these things every single month, and am I actually getting value from them? So I canceled my business account, because my little side hustle does not necessarily need a business account. And when I open a limited account for my property business, I'm definitely going to need a business account, and I can't use the one that I had signed up before. So I'm getting rid of that one. Well, I've already gotten rid of that one. I have looked at subscriptions that I'm not using, do not serve me, or whatever, and I've taken them out as well. So that has saved me quite a lot of money. I'm actually surprised that I was sending that much money towards my subscription. So in the month of June, moving forward, you'll see the decrease in my business expenses. So yeah, I'm happy about that. But that's another thing that I'm doing to prepare for a recession. I'm getting rid of anything that is just going to steal my money. It does not bring value to my life, and I'm actually not using it, not every single day, but frequently on a weekly basis. So yeah, that's what I did. And then another way is I'm continuing to invest in the property market as well as the stock market. So if I start off with the stock market, my goal is every single month I would like to send £1,000 towards my Vanguard ISA. In the UK, for our ISAs, we have an allowance of £20,000. I'm not there yet financially to be able to put £20,000 in the stock market, but I'm gonna try and get as close as I possibly can. And for me right now, in my prediction is £12,000. So for the month of April, I was able to do that. For the month of May, as I'm filming this video, it hasn't worked out well for me with that regard, but I've put enough that I could. I'm still investing, and that is the most important things. I'm buying a lot of the stocks at a discounted prices because the stock has gone down again. It affects my overall net worth, but to be honest, I'm not too bothered about that. I'm just happy that the stocks that I normally buy and are happy to invest in and I believe in are at a discounted prices, and I'm buying. So that's what I'm doing. Then when it comes to the property side of it, I'm just closing now on my second rental property, and I'm looking at my fourth already because I want to add another property into my portfolio. I did not think I wanted to add another one this quickly, but I've started my research, and I'm also planning for it as well financially, you know, saving, seeing how I can go about getting this next property. But that is what I'm doing. I'm preparing. And you know, the last recession, house prices fell. The banks were giving out mortgages like free condoms, and it was crazy. But you know, I'm sure this recession they will not, but you know, who knows. I'm just like, you know what, let me save up. And that's another thing that I'm doing for my mortgages. Obviously I have an emergency fund, and my emergency fund covers between 3 to 6 months of my expenses, and I want to make sure that I beef that up. And for those of you who watch my Transfer Tuesday videos, you will notice that that is what I'm talking about a lot. My goal is to beef up that emergency fund, so should the worst happen, I will have at least money to support me in my current lifestyle. I know the things that I would give up if my lifestyle changed, but I'm saving as if my lifestyle is not going to change, if you understand what I mean. So yeah, that is what I'm doing. I'm investing in property and the stock market. Then the fourth way is cutting out unnecessary expenses. And again, this is obviously tied into subscriptions as well. But unnecessary expenses for me is I don't really do clothes shopping that often. I think in the month of May I did one, purely because I have a holiday coming up and there was an item that I wanted that I had given away on my previous holiday and I wanted to replace. So I figured, yeah, let's do the shop. And to be honest, I didn't feel great about it. Yes, I needed it, but it was just like, I could still have done without. I've got other clothes, and I declutter every 6 weeks, and my friends laugh at me because for a girl, I don't actually have that many clothes. I declutter every single week. I give away the stuff that does not bring me joy. I don't wear that often, so yeah, it's just my nature. But I also don't do that much shopping. Beauty items, again, it's the thing of I buy a lot of things in bulk, and because of that it's rare for me to be like, oh, I need a new lipstick, or I have enough lipsticks, I've got enough makeup stuff if I needed to, I've got enough deodorant, blah blah blah, all of that stuff. So for me, again, it's a case of things like beauty, no more shopping, unnecessary spending. All of that is something that I'm cutting out and sending that extra money towards my savings challenges, which are then going to help me beef up my sinking funds and my emergency fund. So that is something I'm also doing. And then the last thing that I have here on my list is budgeting. So this channel, I cover budgeting, saving, and investing. And for me, budgeting is the core foundation of personal finance, of my personal finance, because with a budget, I know how much I can afford to spend lavishly or on my normal expenses. I'll, do something out of the ordinary. I know that because I have a budget. I follow the 50-30-20 budgeting style, although I have flipped that on its head. I try and do, instead of sending 50% towards my needs, I send 50% towards my savings, 30% towards my needs, and 20% towards my wants. Now, with this one, it's actually quite interesting because in my wants, I throw in things like recreation, so Netflix, Spotify, and then I also throw in things like health and lifestyle. But when it comes to like things that I'm spending on my person, it's actually less than 4%, 5% thereabouts is how much I spend. So I try and just make sure the extra money, I send it towards my financial goals. But this is not to say I don't enjoy my money. I do. In my budget, I allow for enjoyment of my money. And for me, I enjoy it through travel. I love to travel. Some people like designer bags. I love flights. I love traveling. Like, you would be surprised if you looked at my travel plans for the year, and the majority of the flights are already booked and hotels have been paid for. It's only things like food, activities, and airport transfer that is left. So that's how I add in fund my budget. But it's because I have a budget, that's how I'm able to see where I can send my money. And also because I have a budget, I'm able to see quite easily that I can cut out these things and send this money towards my savings and beef them up. And should the worst happen, I have money saved up. So yeah, let me know in the comments below how you're preparing for a recession, because it's going to be a tough couple of years, because I think a recession does not last less than a year, to my knowledge, in my reading. I'm not a financial advisor or an economist or anything like that, but just saying. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.